Good afternoon. It is May 4th, 2022, and here's what we're looking at for today. So really, it was just a range day until the FOMC announcement, and it just, I think that came in right here. So it was chopping around, made it look like a range, tested the overnight lows, and then it just rocketed up, spiking channel. You can see that. So I'm not going to waste any time today. I'm going right through this. I think I don't see anything between 5 and 8 that I like. This just looks like you don't know what's happening. But then you get a first entry, failed second entry. That sets up pretty well right below the EMA. Nothing else to say about that. Just a really good setup, it looks like. Then we're just very congested after the opening. And if you draw your trend channel from here off this high, you get a test once and a second test, and so I think you might consider that. It doesn't close below the EMA, unfortunately, but you might consider that one. And that gives you a nice move down. And then we make this new low here. First entry, second entry, beautiful setup. And then we get what I perceive to be an overshoot. This midline looks pretty accurate, and if I move it up here, that actually looks very accurate as well. So this is probably it. You get this overshoot. So, we're kind of thinking a break is coming of this channel. You can see all this choppiness correction up here. First entry, failed second entry. I don't think in this context you want to take that. It's a little congestive. We just had the overshoot. But that does work if you took it. First entry, second entry, it's like a double, triple, quadruple, quintuple test right here, but I couldn't pull the trigger on that. When this bar formed and it was a doji, in all these dojis, I couldn't take that. Just some more choppiness here. Nothing here, unfortunately. Nothing that I like. And you get a second entry right here, but it just finished as a doji, and I don't think you should be taking that. Then we get this pink channel up. First entry, failed second entry, but that's way too far from the EMA. It looks like it's above this channel too, and yeah, we get the overshoot, and that comes back and tests this level with a very bearish bar, as you can see there. I'll draw that. And it looks like it's very bearish. There's so much room back to the EMA, so you might take that. But it looked like a very strong move out, and in the end, I do think that this was like a spike in channel. So that forms this lower high. Unfortunately, there's not enough room to go short back to the EMA. So you might be feeling a little aggressive and take this second entry long, but I was looking for shorts still, if we're being completely honest. So when that short didn't set up, and you see we formed this channel, okay? It tries to go lower once, and it tries to go lower a second time, and that's off of this channel. And you can see we're making higher lows and higher highs. Even though this new high looked like it was just from this channel, it confirms, we got confirmation right here of this channel. So you can enter that on a failure, and that is a really good move. This is a little congestive. First entry, second entry, signal bar is no good, but this was a really good move up. And if you don't take that, this is like a third entry, but it just... very bullish. And then we come into this area, just a range after the break of this channel. I don't see anything in here. I don't think you can take this lower high for any reason. You might, because if you're playing range rules, that's coming right off the overnight highs. So you might consider that. And it's off the trend channel, so better off if you wait for a second entry short. This is pretty, I don't know. I don't know if I should mark this green or red right here, but it's a second entry short, and if you're playing range rules, you might think that. But okay, this is an hour leading up to the announcement anyway, so you shouldn't be taking that. So the announcement comes, it gets a little crazy, spikes up over the overnight highs, corrects quickly. First entry, failed second entry. If you're trading during this time, that's off the trend channel, room to these highs. But then it fails, so that's why you got to be careful. And you get a first entry, second entry. I think you got to take that. You don't get much other than a scalp before it comes back up, makes this high. First entry, failed second entry. That's a pretty good setup. It's a little congestive, but it looks like a failure. Then you get a first entry, failed second entry short. And at this point, it just looks like a range. But you can see we came off that midline, found support there. And this is probably a dangerous area to be going because of the open price, closing price from yesterday, the midline. So you could expect it to get choppy here. Then we come up here, make this high, and then you make a lower high. And with all that room back to the EMA, I think you got to take that. I would consider this like a triple top, so reset the count. First entry, failed second entry. Looks a little aggressive because we don't have a confirmed trend channel, and you're going short into that midline. Here we have a failed second entry, but I don't know. We just made a new low. We just tested these lows. You know what? When it bounces right there, I think you can take that. It's just you're going into swing highs, new swing highs. You get like a test of a price level here, but this is very choppy. And you're not getting anything up here. Come up here, you get a first entry, second entry. That's a great setup right there. That's a fantastic setup. First entry, second entry. This was off my trend line. You can see this. I feel like when stuff like this usually happens at the trend channel, though, that's price acceptance. Even though it's making higher lows and higher highs, you can see here now that that trend channel faded out. So that's usually, or at least from what I've been seeing, that seems like it's when the trend is like overdue for a correction, and that just formed a spike in channel. Really strong move up. So I'm sure, like Max says, when you see these small channels, you can take any good signal bar off of that channel, like this one. Then we get first entry, second entry. Not the greatest signal bar, but in this context, it's off of that channel. That's I think you can take that. So that's what I saw for today. I didn't want to waste any time. I hope everyone had a blessed day. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.